Namaste, welcome back to Pragna, and you are watching AWS real-time cloud projects for beginners to expert. We are almost near to becoming an expert because we have finished so far 57 projects and we still have about 15 to 20 projects to go. So I think you can call yourself an expert by the time you finish all watching all the 75 projects once or twice. It doesn't hurt to watch more times, right? It's learning or gaining knowledge. So the more you watch, the more familiar you will get with these services or technologies and etc. All right, so we are going to do our 58th project in this particular video, which is going to be about securing your servers, how to secure your servers, right? That is an important thing to do. So there is a mining operation at an enterprise resource planning or ERP application to process job applicant submissions. The application is deployed and running, but the mining operation wants help setting least privilege permissions to limit the application's effect on AWS resources. So let's go ahead and pick the project. So I am assuming one of these persons. Look at those trees. I picked the correct architecture, don't you guys think? Nice. Okay, I think he's here. So let's click on him. Hi there, welcome to the Islands Mining Corporation. We have heard great things about you from others you have helped. Thank you. It's been a very fun challenge. Is there anything I can help you with? As a matter of fact, we are looking to hire a director of sustainability to help improve our technologies and their effect on the island. We have implemented an enterprise resource planning application to accept job applicant submissions, but we are concerned about the security of its infrastructure. The ERP application is completed and deployed, but we have given the underlying infrastructure no permissions because we are concerned we might miss something and accidentally give permissions that are too lenient. I see. Can you tell me more about which AWS services the application is running on? Sure. The application is hosted on Amazon EC2. An image of a job application is uploaded to an Amazon S3 bucket, which invokes an AWS Lambda function to process the file by using Amazon TEXTRACT. After the text is extracted from the image, it is stored in an Amazon DynamoDB table. Got it. So we want to create an IAM role and instance profile that will allow least privilege permissions between those services. Can you explain more about instance profiles? I thought that IAM roles were all that was needed. An instance profile is used to pass an IAM role to an EC2 instance. In the AWS Management Console, when you are working with roles, instance profiles are handled behind the scenes. However, when you are with the AWS command line interface or AWS API, managing profiles is a separate action. What about the concept of least privilege permissions that you mentioned? Least privilege permissions is a principle of granting only the permissions required to complete a task, nothing more. For example, if I have an Amazon EC2 server that needs to upload images only to S3, I will allow only S3 to write those objects to the bucket. No other actions can be taken, such as list the objects in the bucket or delete them. That is exactly what we are looking to do. Can you help us get this application running so that we can find our new director? Sure, why not? Great. We look forward to seeing your completed work. All right. So by the time we finish this, what are we going to learn? We're going to learn how to create an IAM profile with only the necessary permissions, creating an IAM role and associate the newly created policy. Then we will associate the newly created role with the EC2 instance. This is going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. As usual, the video concepts for this project are these. If you haven't already watched these, go ahead to the playlist that will pop up here, which is called AWS Tutorials for Beginners, and then search with the same names and watch them. This is I highly recommend you to watch them. And if you already watched it, don't worry about it. I mean, there is nothing, no harm in watching multiple times. But if you haven't watched, I would highly recommend you to watch it at least once. Otherwise, you won't understand the services because these are the services that we are going to use in this particular project. So these will give you detailed explanation on these services. So go watch them. Once you finish watching them, come back and watch the rest of the project. All right, let's go ahead and check our diagram steps. This solution uses IAM roles assigned to instances in EC2 to give applications permissions to upload and process images to a bucket in S3. Basically, that's all we are doing. A user logs into an application server and uploads an image of an employment form. IAM defines and applies permissions for the application server to upload the employment form image to S3. So you have the policy, then the role that is attached to this using instance profile, then yes. After a new object is uploaded to S3 bucket, a trigger invokes a Lambda function which processes the image, which is shown here. The Lambda function is assigned its own IAM role that allows it to send the image to TEXTRACT to extract the text from the file. Amazon TEXTRACT returns the extracted text to the Lambda function. Lambda function processes that extracted text and stores it in an Amazon DynamoDB table. And the application server for the compliance office is given additional permissions so that image can be deleted from the S3 bucket when no longer needed. And that's about it. Right, I think pretty much all these resources will be already created for us. We will be taking care of creating the policies and roles and instance profiles. So let's check out what will be our practice lab goals. We'll create IAM policy and IAM role, and we'll attach IAM role to EC2, and then we'll create a trigger that will invoke Lambda function when a file is uploaded to S3, which we have done several times in previous projects. Then we'll test the changes by uploading an image file to the application and verifying the file contents were properly extracted and saved to Amazon DynamoDB table. Cool. And as part of DIY, we are going to add S3 delete object permission to the EC2 app policy in IAM. Then we will create a new IAM role with name compliance app role. Then we'll attach this policy to that role. Then we attach the newly created role to the compliance server EC2 instances. Cool. That is interesting. So let's go ahead and check out our practice lab steps. All right, let's start the lab. And I think there is a form PNG. This is just the form of the employment form. And as usual, I'm not going to read the concept, but I highly recommend you to read the concepts. So for every step, there will be a concept I will show you. So pause the video, read the concept, then go forward. And we are going to download that file, which I already did. And then we are going to go to EC2. Okay, because we have both the EC2 servers. So obviously we are going to go to EC2. Two servers that will be running. Don't forget to read the concepts. And then we are going to click on the app server. Then we'll click or copy this IP address and open it in the web browser. They're not showing it. Why are they not showing it? Click means copy. Okay, we are just copying the IP address, I guess. Okay, that's fine. And then we are going to go to S3 and read the concept here. And we are going to copy the bucket name. All right, which is cool. And then we are going to go to IAM. I think this is where we are going to spend some time for this project, and I think this will be a quick one. And then create a policy. We have several managed policies, but for this we are going to create our own policy. That is our project. Okay, so we have visual and JSON. JSON is something that we code, and since we are trying to learn how to create policy, we will use visual. So services, obviously, what does this policy do? It provides the EC2 instance access to write to S3. So the service would be S3, right? S3, and what are the permissions that we are giving? We are giving listing the bucket so that it can list the bucket and then it can read files from it. So get object, list object, get object. These are some common permissions that you would give. And then put object. So get object reads, put object writes. So we give three of them. Okay, so then we'll give, so yes, those are the permissions you are giving, but to what? To all the resources? No, to specific resource, and that would be the EC2 machine. So we are going to add it using its ARN. So we'll click on add ARN. And remember we copied the bucket name, and which bucket this policy is going to be, specific bucket, and which resource you are giving the access to, this specific resource. We copied the ARN. Actually, we what this is, oh sorry, this is still the bucket. We'll add the ARNs, and then set the bucket, the object. Here we are going to paste again the bucket name, any object. Oh, okay. So we are still we are giving those permissions, but to what in S3? So we are saying to this particular bucket and all objects in that bucket. When you give star, all objects in that bucket, and add more permissions, select a service. So here we are going to pick the EC2, all EC2 machines or any particular one. I think we are going to, oh no, this policy, what we are saying, we are also giving permissions for EC2 permissions. What are we doing? We are going to give describe instances and add more permissions, select a service, DynamoDB. Okay. So first S3, then EC2, then DynamoDB. Wow, we are creating all of them here. What is this? Particular select. I don't know what that does. I'm assuming it does the select permission. And then for the DynamoDB, what are we doing? Forms and then the DynamoDB. They didn't tell us to go ahead and copy this. Okay, that's fine. So these are the ones. Any table? No, only forms table looks like that is the table name. Add ARN. Click next. And the policy name is EC2 app policy. Okay, let's copy that name. We can name anything we want. We don't have to name this one. Okay, I think it's created. Policy is created. Now we are going to create a role. And which one is that? AWS service. And it's an AWS service role for EC2. So service is EC2. We are going to select EC2. Okay, let me give this concept for you so that you can read. And it's choose the policy that you want to attach to this IAM role. Click next, and you can see the code for it. And they are going to name it lab app role. Okay, that's done. Create role. Now we are going to go to the instance, app server, security, modify IAM role. Go ahead and pick the lab app role that we just created. Okay, now we opened that IP address with 8443, and what are we going to do? We are going to upload the file, that image that we just to check it. Okay, so let's click, and if we submit, it should be able to successfully upload it. I guess it did it. Success is uploaded to that particular bucket. And if we go to the forms table, it should have listed whatever was in the table XYZ successfully. So you might be wondering, how did it insert that data? Well, behind the scenes, as soon as you upload it to S3, there is a trigger created on top of it, which I will show you. And that trigger is going to uh, run a lambda function, and that lambda function is going to use TEXTRACT service to extract the text from the image, and then it is going to insert into the DynamoDB. So it is all happening behind the scenes, but it is not shown to us, which I will show you. Okay, don't get discouraged. I will show you. Okay, now before doing all that, what I will show you is they missed something, which is initially they should have shown us that if you upload the file, it should not work, which I will show you guys. Don't worry about it. So we have the app server, right? and let's copy the IP address. Let me close the previous projects. Okay, it opened. Let me choose the file. Okay, this is the implement form, and you can see it has a full name John Doe, then phone number, home address, mailing address. So if I submit, what should happen? It should fail because access denied, because EC2, this particular server doesn't have the permissions. This particular role doesn't have the permission to write to our S3 bucket. So what happened? It failed, right? So let's go back here. So that we are going to fix. Now this sounds more interesting. Don't you agree? Yes. So let's go and copy this ARN. Do we need this ARN? I don't think we need the ARN of this one. So let's go to S3. Okay, we have to click apparently 3-4 times. So let's copy the bucket name and also copy the ARN if possible. Okay. And if you see objects, there is nothing in this bucket, which we are going to fix it. Not fix it, but we are going to upload. I mean, once we upload that image using that server, it should be populating it for us. Anyways, let's click on policies. There will be so many managed policies. We don't care about it. Instead, we want to create our own policy, which we are going to select it right now. And the service is S3. And you can write your own JSON, but up to you. So list, definitely we are giving the list bucket, not all buckets. List bucket, and we will tell which bucket we want to give listing. Read, we are going to get object, and then write put object. And we are giving these access to what? All buckets or specific, and what is that bucket, specific bucket you want to give access to? So let's copy, paste it here, so it will be populated. And same thing, object, so all the files in the bucket or not, that we still have to mention, so which we will do by specifying star. We are saying any object, it doesn't matter. I think pretty much that's it for S3. And then we are going to give it for EC2. And what are we giving? We are just giving describe, so it just lists, describe what it does. It's like listing the instances. That is the only permission we are giving, and it's for all resources. There is no selecting which EC2 instance, all EC2 instances. The finally DynamoDB, the permissions for Lambda, etc., they are already configured it, so we don't have to worry about it. DynamoDB, and I think what is it that they gave permission? The party. What is this? Grants permission to read a set of attributes for items. Okay. And again, are we going to give for all tables? No. This we are going to select this account and the region, any region, and the table name is forms. Click that. And I think pretty much that's it. We are done. Click next. Let's give the policy name. It's simple, right? Yeah, I know. And look at the permissions it is going to give, etc. Then create policy, and we now have that policy. Now create a role and then attach this policy to that. It's going to be AWS service, and the role we are going to use is for the EC2 instance. Click next, and the policy we are going to use is this one. So let's select it, attach it, next, and let's name the role. And it will show you that it's going to assume the role of that one. Let's create the role. Okay, we have the role and the policy to attach to it. Now let's go back to our EC2 machine, and here what are we going to do? Actions, security, modify IAM role. We are changing from that to the role that we just created, update it. We don't have to stop it terminate it, restart it, and do all that, it immediately takes it into effect. Now if I go ahead and upload the file from here, it will, but before that I want to show you certain things. I don't know if you will have access to view all of that, but I will try to show you, which is this particular bucket has a trigger created on top of it. So I will try to show you that. Okay, event, you can see, right? So all object create events means anything, any object that is created on that or put on this particular bucket, it is going to trigger this particular lambda function. And this lambda function, as I mentioned, it will download the file from the S3, and you will see the trigger being S3 here. Okay, this will get the download the file from S3. I think it will show here. Hold on. Yeah, so as you can see, it takes that and sends it to TEXTRACT. I think there should be somewhere it uses TEXTRACT. It is doing that. TEXTRACT response.json output key equals to. So I'm just seeing, yeah, you can see, right? It is using TEXTRACT. So it uses the form, gets that from the bucket and key, and uses TEXTRACT to extract the data from it, and then puts the response into a JSON, dumps the JSON into a JSON, and then it will add that record to the, if the table doesn't exist, it will create it. If it is exists, it will add the record to that particular table. So pretty much it does all these things. And once it does it, what does it do? It will insert the record in DynamoDB from this. So now let's go ahead here, upload it. Okay, this is the file. See, it has details. It will extract all this and put it in there. Let's submit. So previously it errored out. Now it says success. It put that in the bucket. So if I go to the bucket, objects, and if I refresh this, I should have that file. And if I go to DynamoDB, it should have that record, tables, forms, explorer. There should be one record in it. One record, and it says John Doe Street. So text track extracted all the information accurately. So I think that's about it. Don't you agree? It was cool. The main point of this is to learn how to create the policy and role and attach it to the EC2 instance. Okay, now what are we going to do? We are going to add S3 delete object permission to the policy that we created. So let's go here, policies. So previously, what did we add to the policies? We only added put get list. So now we are going to modify delete as well. Let's use visual. I am not that experienced with this. I mean, trust me, even the real admins use this visual as well, because as a developer, I will tell them what we need, so they go ahead and do that. So it will be under right, delete object, not bucket, obviously. Okay, so that is one thing they wanted us to do, which I will do. And what else? Create a new IAM role with the name complaints app role. Okay, let's go ahead and save this. And what is this used for? Okay, the server, same thing. Okay, EC2. Next. Next, they wanted to name it compliance app role. Is that correct? Okay, and that's the policy, create the role. Let's go back to our EC2 and we have a complaint server, same thing, actions, security, modify IAM role, select complaints, update. Is there anything else? I think pretty much that's it. Let's provide them the complaints instance ID, name of the newly created IAM role, which is okay. So what do you guys think? Did you like this project so far? Let me know in the comments. Definitely, you guys are definitely leaving a like and comment and subscription. There is no option. All right, we did it. The application now has correct permissions. Now we can return to the city and give the customer good news. Before doing that, guys and girls, while I am while, I will go and deliver the good news. You guys exit from the full screen, like, comment, subscribe, and do all that awesome stuff. And you already know why I request you to do the comment, like you know that, right? We want to tell the YouTube to show our videos to all the people who search for AWS projects. So that is only possible by you awesome people. So go ahead and do that. Thank you so much for helping us secure our application servers. Choose a reward. All three suck, but I will pick this one. At least it's too yellowish. Okay, I think it will be time for some fireworks, and then you know what? Yes. And then feedback time. Let's give some feedback. And this is a quick one compared with the last one. All right, let's close it. Obviously, I liked it. Close it. Let's zap some drones, shall we? Okay, not you. What is the outcome if an AWS IAM user has conflicting allow and deny? So whenever you have conflicting, it's always deny takes priority. Okay, deny takes priority over allowed. You can mistakenly deny something, that's fine, but you cannot mistakenly allow something. What is used to uniquely identify AWS resources? The ARN? It will contain the account, isn't it? Of course, duh. I mean, when we answer it correctly, we can duh it. Okay, so far good. When creating an AWS IAM role in the AWS Management Console, an instance profile with the same name is automatically created. Huh. Is that the case? I instance profile with the same name as automatically. I think it's false. I don't know. I never noticed it. Wow. Dude, I cannot do this. Okay. Okay. No worries. We learn new things every day, don't we? Yeah, it's part of our lives. We should never ever say that I know everything. Okay? You can say I can try. What is the final output of an AWS policy that is created by using the visual editor? It's a JSON. Duh. Oh, that's far. What are considered IAM entities? IAM entities. Is it instances? Seriously? No. Why would I consider them? Do we have any behind me? Okay, that's fine. Let's explore in this direction. This is nice, right? I chose this. A blacksmithy area. Blacksmith. We can do Minecraft over there. I think they might have picked this from Skyrim or something. Some of them at least. And maybe some of them Witcher, I don't know. What will be the outcome of an AWS IAM policy with multiple and conditions specified if one of the conditions returns false? Action will be denied because one condition returned false. Okay. Conditions. The action will be denied because one condition returned false. Is that the case? I am assuming. Yeah, see, using a and. Multiple values. If a single condition, okay. If a policy statement multiple, okay. Multiple condition operators. Okay, this is confusing. Condition operator, then and, but context keys, then it is or. What is it? If a single condition operator includes multiple values for a context key, those values are evaluated a logical or. If your policy statement has multiple context keys or multiple context. Okay, I don't know. What did the question ask? Multiple conditions. I think it is, yeah, I think I will go with this. False, because it's an AND operator. Which resource is a container used to pass an IAM role to an instance? Instance profile, which we just did, now. An IAM entity such as a user or group can have multiple policies attached. Sure, why not? Why are you being so low? Maintaining low. AWS IAM instance profiles are automatically associated with IAM roles when managed through the IAM command line or they said something about this, right? I don't think it is automatic with this. We have to do something else. See, console, I think it is automatic, but through this, you create roles and instance profiles as separate actions. Yeah, see this? Yeah, I think it is false. All right. I missed the shot there. Oh, we did 500 hits. Which type of IAM policy requires a principal to be defined? I always get confused between these two. Either it is identity based or resource based, but let me see. I think it is identity based. Resource based. John, me. Okay, so resource based policy to specify the principle that is allowed or delayed access to a resource. You must use principal element in resource based policy. Several services support resource based policies, including IAM. The IAM resource based policy type is a role trust policy. Yeah. As I said, I always get confused. I need to learn more security related stuff. That's why watch the video, guys. Watch those videos. They explain in detail about all these things. I need to watch them one more time or maybe twice, thrice. What is Amazon States language? Another term for steps workflow? No. It is a low code visual workflow designer for yes. An internal structure that contains information about steps. Is it JSON based? Yeah, kind of JSON based. Yeah, but they also used it for systems manager in the previous. Either this or this. Okay, it is a correct. It is correct. Okay, looks like we are out of IAM questions. Let's try to this one orange. Let's hope. EC2, S3. I think we should have these cards because they are like more common cards. Okay, yeah, I said EC2 IAM. Okay, what is this trying to do? Oh yeah, this will be IAM, this will be EC2 because EC2 will be accessing, writing to CloudWatch and accessing S3, I guess. This secure EC2 application solution ensures robust security for your application on EC2 using a combination of IAM, S3 and other essentials. Is that what they want us to use? Okay, okay, then it is not this one. That looks same as an IAM, right? Don't you see? That's weird. All right, success. I think I will stop it here. I hope you enjoyed this project. At least I enjoyed this project. And if you did, then you know what to do. Do check out all the projects. Okay. If you want to get real-time experience, almost 3 years, more than 3 years of real-time experience, then watch from the first project to because the level of hardness on these projects gets improved, increased. So the beginning projects are like for beginners and the level increases then intermediate. Right now we are between intermediate and expert. So don't watch or start from the in between because you will be not understanding a lot of things. But if you watch from the beginning, then it will be much easier for you. And let me know if you're following this series, then you know what to do. Hit the like, comment, subscribe. You can become a member and support this channel as well and share it as much as possible. And thank you very much for spending your time on these videos and the playlist. I wish you all the best and thank you very much. See you in the next video. Have a great day. Peace out.